Deary me, it's gonna happen. First things first, the very name of my persona, L-U-I. Secondly, the game, it is the game of bodybuilding. Thirdly, the subject of this video. It is not about the biggest bodybuilders ever. It is rather about the freakiest of them all. Every era included, not in order. I'm gonna try to go through them just by memory. So sit back and let me take you through the ages. This is the 90s, baby please, when the big fauna stepped on stage with a legitimacy. This is Kevin Levroni, Dorian Yates, and may he rest in peace, Nasser El Somebody. They were a sight to be reckoned with, most of them north of 270 pounds. When it comes to Nasser El Somebody, he was a legitimate 287 pounds, bro. Let's proceed. First one in line. This guy has to be in this list. Dennis the Menace Dames. So DJ has to be in this category. When it comes to the upper body, he was an absolute sight to be seen. A legitimate powerhouse. He knew how to saturate those crazy, most muscular pose. The crab pose, you cannot put a finger. He filled it. This was a complete pose. One of the best ever. He was a mass monster freak. He has to be in this list. There is an absolute, not a single doubt about it. Let's proceed. This powerhouse, the Maryland Machine, Kevin Levroni. When it comes to the upper body, when he became big after 94, he had to be in this list. Look at him. There was a guy called Chris Cormier. He was saying when you step foot in front of Kevin Levroni, literally you get frightened because he has that 3D muscle coming towards you, bro. Kevin Levroni is a legitimate positioned bodybuilder in this category here. He is a freak, no doubt about it. Look at him. Nobody gets this pose like here. You can literally not see in air a void. You cannot put a finger in this pose. From the front, bro, 3D all day and daily, even more than the current Mr. All, Phil Heath. That's what's up. He is to be saluted, legitimate in this position, no doubt about it, bro. Look at that. Proceed, shall we? You can see him here next to Dorian Yates, and may he rest in peace, Nasser El Somebody. From down under, the blonde myth, a very giant killer in his own right, namely Lea Grease. This kid, you know, he was one of the shortest guys. Yes, packing, pound for pound, he was packing the most muscle on stage. Believe me, boys, he was so complete. Unfortunately, IFBB did not like him because he was an outspoken dude, but he has some crazy body parts, unparalleled until today. Talking about the forearms, bro, I mean, look at that. Until today, you cannot see a mass-filled bellies, baby, please, like this guy, the Superman, the blonde myth from down under. Look at that freaking belly in that freaking, bro. It's just not, it's not a forearm, bro. I mean, the muscle starts literally from the wrist until the elbow. No void whatsoever. He is to be saluted not only by myself, but by Tom Platz himself. How couldn't he? Is this a freaking triceps or a horseshoe, bro? Look at that, bro. I mean, this is a front lat spread. Yet he is able to showcase crazy striated, massive delts with huge arms. One of the best arms in the business until today. Look how he poses, bro. Look at that. Who does this pose right now? It was a true Superman to be saluted. He needs to be in this freaks list. He is still competing until today, by the way. Saluted, bruh. This guy, Germany all day and daily, Viking genetics. This guy, when he was stepping in stage, he was most likely more popular than the current Mr. All of that time, namely Ronnie Coleman. This dude, when he was stepping on stage, everybody was going, rule, a giant to be reckoned with. One of the best chests until today. When he was doing those crazy side chest, his chin was literally touching his upper chest, for God's sake. Lady right here, probably bigger than me, yet next to him, does she even lift, bro? But then again, premium genetic, you gotta comprehend, bro. It's not everybody who can box in this category right here. It's not about vitamin S, bro. Premium genetic. One of the craziest peaks until today. A lot of people accuse him of being on SEOs. LUI does not believe that. I think he is a legitimate, crazy, muscular mofo. One of the biggest until today. A gentle giant in his own right. May he rest in peace. Nasser El Somebody. Some of you guys from Arab descent told me, bro, I'm not pronouncing his name properly. So let me tell you. Nasser El Somebody. So I know how to say it, but up here in North America we say El Somebody. And guess what? He was somebody for real. The biggest guy of his era. He was toe-to-toe versus the Mr. O of back then, namely Dorian Yates. He was heavier than him. He became a freak in 1995. And since then, bro, there was no way back. He was the very first guy, you know, north of 280 on stage, as far as I know, alongside Paul Dillette. He was bringing a very granny-T look on stage. It was like a bigger version of Brent Schwarden, for God's sake, the godfather of that granite look, and crowned Mr. Olympia in his own right, 1997, 18 years ago. I am a witness. LUI says that this dude deserved the statue versus Dorian Yates. They did not give it to him for politics, obviously. Look at him here. He was ecstatic back in 94, and then he jumped on the real mass spree, and he became this. Look at the difference, bro, in 1 year. See what's up? So he was in the two sides, ecstatic, and then he became huge. May he rest in peace, Nasser El Somebody. No surrender, bro. Proceed, shall we? Paul Dillette. This Paul Dillette guy, probably the best bodybuilder out from Canada. He was nicknamed Jurassic Paul, just like Jurassic Park, because he was a dinosaur-like. He was bigger than the guys before they become big. He was big, he was huge before Dorian Yates became big in 93, right? Granted, he was not the best poser out there, but genetically, bro, he was superior, right? He was not doing squats as far as I know. You cannot find a single picture of him doing squats. He was doing only some leg presses, baby please. Yet, his legs are one of the best in the business. I told you, he was already big when Nasser was still small in 93 and 94, bro. And then they joined him in the mass spree, and that's what's up. Look at him. His best placing, as far as I know, was number 4 in Mr. Olympia, right? Salute Paul, Jurassic Paul, Dillette. Ronnie Coleman. How can we dismiss Big Ron? Of course, he's 8-time Mr. Olympia, but nonetheless, he was one of the freakiest mofos ever. Dude became a freak in 96 when he won the Canadian Grand Prix. And from then, the rest is history, as you guys know. He's dominated the sport until his retirement pretty much. Dude was quite complete, except his midsection. Best glutes in the Mr. Olympia until today. One of the craziest back out there with Dorian Yates. Dude was an absolute monster. Next to the current Mr. O, I mean Phil Heath, next to Big Ron. Does he even lift, bro? If you know what's up. Not only that, Arnold does salute Ronnie Coleman. And for the record, Phil Heath obviously does not salute properly this guy right here, the Terminator. That's what's up. Proceed, shall we? Oh, a troll right there. Pregnant troll. Look at him. He looks like this guy right here. Seriously, a muscular troll. Hello. Salute you all day and daily. Proceed, shall we? This dude right here, bro. Do you know who this guy is, man? Out from Nigeria. This African powerhouse was a majestic genetic premium when he was 14. Vitamin S, not even once. Vitamin G, not even once. Myostatin, all day and daily. This guy has a myostatin deficiency, bro. I'm talking about Vic Richard. He was already big before vitamin S. Dude was just too big for his era. Never competed in the IFBB as far as I know. You know why? Because he said, I'm just too big for these guys. And damn right he was right. I mean, if this dude stepped foot in the Lee Haney era, everybody would fled. I mean, Mike Christian, Lee Labrada, Richard Gaspari, and the like. I mean, do they even live next to this freak, bro? He was just too huge for his era. This guy should have lived right now. And I guarantee you, he was not on the real doses when it comes to bodybuilding helpers. He was on minute doses. He was just too big. You can see him in 93 in the FIBO, next to the Mr. Olympia of back then. Let me read you this asset right here. During a mass free-for-all, Vic Richard positioned himself next to Dorian Yates and traded shots with the reigning Mr. O. Afterwards, in the belief that he had overshadowed the Shadow himself, Victor did apologize to Yates. Funny old word, isn't it? I guarantee you. Go on YouTube and look for Fibo Victor Richard. He was absolutely bigger than Dorian Yates of back then. That's what's up. I'm talking about a freak. This guy, you can only compare him to only two guys. I want to talk about him in a few. Proceed, shall we? You can see him here next to Ronnie Coleman. Now, he's not as mature as him. Back then, you know, people were not as diced, but I guarantee you, probably he was heavier than him. Unfortunately, he never competed. There we go. He was compared to only one of these guys is Zach Kincan. This dude, in my reckoning, is also a myostatin deficiency, and this is not vitamin S. What you're looking at is not photoshopped. This is a real human being. Probably not only probably the biggest guy out of an Asian descent. If I'm not mistaken, he's from a Pakistani or an Afghani descent because his name is Khan. But bro, I mean, look at those bellies upstairs. Unfortunately, he had an injury in his legs. If it was not for that, bro, he would have smacked IFBB because he has some assets and he know how to get diced. It's just a sight to be seen. Look at him when he was small next to Dorian Yates. He was a promising figure, this guy. Unfortunately, he got injured. And again, look at him when he was a kid, bro. You gotta comprehend, dude. It's not about vitamin S. You need to have genetic, basically, to rock and to box with these big boys. It's not anybody who can acquire this crazy mass. Look at the bellies. Bellies everywhere. I mean, those 3D is just nonsensical. Unfortunately, he injured his legs. Hopefully, he'll be able to come back. If he comes back, bro, trust me, he will be a sight to be reckoned. Look at the back, bro. I'm talking about some crazy mass development. And he knows how to get diced. I mean, look at his glutes. Look at his hamstrings. Salute Zach Kincan, right? Those are some honorable mentions. First one of them. This guy right here, Gunther Schlierkamp, from Germany. The only dude who has beaten a reigning Mr. Olympia, namely Ronnie Coleman. He has beaten him in a secondary show. It never happened since then. It was a giant. Second honorary mention goes to this Russian powerhouse, Alexei Fyodorov. It was a sight to be reckoned. One of the craziest triceps until today. You can see him here between Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman in their own prime, right? Unfortunately, he has an injury in his chest, which basically hindered the balance upstairs. He was an absolute masterpiece. He just came back this year, but at this precise moment, he's quite old. But when he was in his prime, bro, he was an absolute powerhouse. Proceed, shall we? Another honorary figure, Brutal Bertil Fox. In the 80s, bro, he was so big, they could not compare him with nobody. That's why he was so underrated. Last news, he was still in jail. Proceed, shall we? Another honorable mention goes to Ferrigno. He's big, but he was tall as well. You can see him here. This was a 93 next to the smallest guy back then in Baciani. Another honorable mention to a Canadian powerhouse. Some say he was up to 400 horsepower, 400 pounds off season. Craig Kovacs, may he rest in peace. Another honorable mention goes to Jean-Pierre Fuchs, a powerhouse from where? Switzerland. That's what's up. Another honorable mention to the Algerian powerhouse, a giant killer, nicknamed Giant Killer, not by the LUI, but by Lee Haney. He's the only guy, the first guy who has beaten Dorian Yates alongside Lee Haney, right? And he beat him from the back. That goes to show. He was an absolute powerhouse. May he rest in peace. Look at him when he has beaten Dorian Yates. Another honorable mention has to go to Dorian Yates. It is quite a special mention because this picture here, the most outrageous mass pictures came from him when he was 3 weeks before Mr. Olympia. He was at 269 in 93. This was the best shape when he was hard. He decided to come a little bit later, lighter, because he did not want to shock us, but he could have basically came in here. This was before his injury, by the way. Another honorable mention, the mass version of Flex Wheeler. By the way, this picture is out from 1998 in the British Grand Prix. Click here to see these guys doing battle in the British Grand Prix. All of them were at their prime. Probably one of the craziest version of Ronnie Coleman, craziest version of Kevin Levrone, and one of the craziest mass monster version of Flex Wheeler. That's what's up. That's Flex in the same era. He was ecstatic, as I said, in 93, but then he became big to rock and to be able to be toe-to-toe with Ronnie Coleman. Proceed, shall we? The current freak, probably the biggest of them all. This guy is hard to find pictures about him because he's always getting bigger. So every picture I'm showing right now is somehow outdated because he gets big year by year. We did not see the final version out of him. The latest one is 315 on stage, namely the Phenom Big Ramy. This guy right here for the 10,000th time, deficiency of myostatin, right? This is uncharted territory. This guy is just special premium. They found him. He was a fisherman from Kuwait, originally from Egypt, and they said, bro, come on, let's put you on a little bit of vitamin S and see what's up. Next thing you know, he's dwarfing everybody. I mean, look, the big bad wolf next to him. Does he even lift? And we're talking about a big guy. This German powerhouse has one of the craziest wheels in the business. Next to those of Big Ramy, bro, do you even lift, for God's sake? And again, Big Ramy was small here, was about 290. Right now, he's 333 off season, and he's not that fat. Look, he's always getting bigger. In 1 year, he gained, and he's still gaining. So he is the current freak, as you guys know. When he was, probably last year 285, he was still looking toe-to-toe with the back then Mr. Olympia Ronnie Coleman 8 times. So if I told you he was the same thing, he was the same thing. So this guy is something. Look at his back. This was a recent picture, and this was him few weeks prior to the Arnold Brazil. That's what's up. Those are the freaks. Again, all these guys are premium genetics. There's like one person in a million, and then they added some creatine, and they added some basically magic potions, in a sense, to say the proper politically correct way, and then they got huge. It's not everybody who can get to this level. That's what's up. Salute you wherever you are. Tell me if the LUI has missed somebody. Until then, be saluted by me. Don't forget to like the video. I'll be waiting for your comments and give me your input if I forgot somebody all day and daily, bruh.